Hey guys, it's Scott here from Zone Play, and today I'll be unboxing the PlayStation 4 Mega Pack, which as you can see includes 2 controllers, Killzone and the camera, as well as the console itself. So as you can see now, it's been called the Player Edition, so let's get it unboxed.
So after some difficulty of trying to get the inner box out of the carded sleeve, here we have the white box. So inside this plain white box is the PlayStation console itself with its accessories, which are used to actually use the console. So nothing special about that, just a plain white box with some variety of different languages on the back explaining what it can do and its features. And then at the bottom of the box you've got the additional content included with the Player Edition, which of course is the extra controller, the PlayStation camera, and the game itself. So interestingly, not unlike the Xbox One bundle, where everything was packed nicely into its box, this one just seems a bit of a quick job, you know, stitch everything in a nicely packaged box. And at the bottom of the box is a reminder to tell you that you need to update the console before you can use any of its enhanced features. So before I move on, here is the front of the box. And the back, which unlike the Xbox One is highly detailed with all the information of its contents and what you can expect from the console. It's always nice to know what you're paying £430 for. On the right hand side of the box we've got a list of contents, so as you can see, PlayStation, 2 controllers, camera, mono headset, cables and the game itself. Very useful if you weren't unsure, or if you were unsure of what was going to be included. And then on the other side of the box just tells you more artwork of what's included. So first of all, we'll take a look at the additional content included with this Player Edition, which, as I mentioned before, just seems sort of thrown into the box. And seeing as the camera is pretty small and I'd say a bit easily damaged, I'd rather have it at the top rather than bottom. And then first up is the Killzone Shadowfall game. As you can see, it's a physical product, not a digital download code like they are with the PS Vita and Xbox One. And as you'd expect, at the bottom of the packaging it says not to be sold separately, as well as on the front. Moving onwards to the PlayStation 4 controller, which as you can see is just thrown in this plastic little bag. So take it out. So there we have the PlayStation 4 Dualshock controller, and here's a closer look of it. So as you can see, it's still got all the traditional buttons that a PlayStation 3 controller has, but obviously it's been redefined for better comfort and use. And as everyone has demanded, there is now trigger buttons rather than just flat ones. But more importantly, the newest addition is the share button and the touchscreen interface. And finally, moving on to the last part of the extra contents included with this bundle, is the PlayStation camera, which compared to the Xbox One Connect is insanely tiny. So there you go, there's a closer look at the PlayStation camera, and like I mentioned, it's insanely tiny compared to the Kinect and weighs hardly anything at all, and even the wire itself, which is used to connect to the PlayStation, is extremely thin. Whereas if you saw in the Xbox One unboxing video, the Kinect wire is extremely thick. Back to the unboxing again, and here we go with the main Grande Resistance, if that's how it's pronounced, for the PlayStation 4 console. So we'll just spin it round. There's a brief look at everything inside of its box. Apologies if you can't really see it. So yet again, another PlayStation 4 controller. Won't mess around showing you a close-up of this one since we've already seen it earlier on in the day. Or early on in the video, should I say. Next up is a manual and a quick start guide. Does anyone ever still read these? Probably not. Moving on, we've got the mono headset, which is very small, tiny, and will probably break in 5 minutes. So if you're wanting to talk to people online, this is what you'll use. So here's a bit of a close-up of it. So just standard cheap, and I mean cheap, headset style, and it's just one for one earpiece, and it's got a blue spine with black. It's also got a clip, so you can clip it to your shirt or coat or jacket, as well as volume controls. So I guess it isn't all that bad. Next up is a thin USB cable to charge the controller. Amusingly, you only get one, despite having two controllers. And then, of course, back to the power lead, which is exactly the same as the PlayStation 3 one. Well, shall I say PlayStation 3 Slim and Super Slim anyway. Finally, you got a HDMI cable, probably another basic one. Unless it is 4K compatible, not entirely sure. And then finally, the main attraction, and the reason why you spend £430 on this bundle, is the PlayStation 4 console itself. Which, just like the PlayStation 3, is packaged in plastic and soft foam packaging, so it isn't damaged in transit. So yeah, there we have the PlayStation 4. Close look now. As you can see, it's got the matte and gloss effect for half and half. The bottom of the console is all gloss, so you don't have to worry about that. As you can just see, it's got two USB sockets on the front and then a disc tray on the left hand side. Spin it around, you've got optical, HDMI and a USB port, as well as a LAN port and the power adapter. So there's not much going off at the back, but lots of air vent holes. So yeah, that's what you can expect from the PlayStation 4 Player Bundle Edition, or also previously known as the Mega Pack, which is now available in the UK and America.